Hello everybody, this is GamePro24X, and I know that there's already like a video and some useful guides about how to solo the rescue mission on Extreme right now, but with this video in particular, while it is a really good run, and I gotta give kudos to the guy for beating it in like 5 minutes, the one glaring issue that people don't know or not even talking about is that this run is really hard to replicate in a very effective way. And the reason I say that is because if you watch this video, I'll have a link in the description below. If you watch this video, he gets two 10,000 Iris side ops throughout his run. And I've been playing this event all fucking day. And I can tell you from my experience that most of the time, you don't even get those. I was getting a lot of the 5,000 Iris side ops where he got the 10,000. So of course, by the time the second guy was rescued, I would always fall short, and I would fall so short that I would just essentially have to rescue the third person. So I'm not knocking the video, and I'm not like knocking the guy or anything like that. I just want to give some clarity and some context that this run can't be done consecutively. And like I said, most of the time, out of 10 runs, I would say I had like 4 of those runs would practically happen like this, where I got 2 10k side ops through that. So I figured, since this method is practically unpredictable because the side ops is completely based on RNG, yes, I took the same exact path, yes, I used the exact diggers in the exact same route he did, it would sometimes give me completely different side ops in completely different areas. So what my goal is I want to create a method that is concise and you can replicate it multiple times, at least majority of the time, compared to this one where you can only get it seldomly. I know Dart also made a written guide about how to solo the event as well with his own strategy. However, his strategy does take a lot of setup and preparation and materials and whatnot, and it does work, don't get me wrong. It's just, if you're going to be running this multiple times, it would be in everyone's best interest to try to whittle it down to the bare essentials. And I think my method is very simplistic and uses very little materials. But again, like, I'm not knocking anyone here, and I'm not trying to like say, oh, like mine's better or whatever. I just want to relay that through all this information that we have here, we can all bounce off each other and refine our techniques. So I'm just giving my thanks and credibility to the people involved. So thank you guys for the information, and now I will show you guys what I have came up with. So before I go into the strategy, I think I should show you guys what I'm running. So I have a few rifles here using Grim rounds, and like I mentioned in my update video, if you're going to be using Grim rounds, use a weapon that has crit boost. I know the sniper rifle doesn't have it, I'm going to switch it out. But yeah, use crit boost if you're using Grim rounds. However, this event also has black ice, so if you have the attack up weapons, definitely use frost rounds instead. You're also going to definitely need decoys. I normally just use the normal decoy, but if I ever need it, I have the active decoy as well. I'm running as a medic with Warcry, and I have extra dexterity and endurance from Meg's build, and I do prioritize endurance a little bit more on my gear here. I know the chest piece that I'm wearing also gives me stamina recovery up, so that does come in handy, but it's not absolutely needed. But I am very grateful that I actually have gloves that give me Scavenger, which, Scavenger is a perk that is available to the scouts, and it allows you to pick up multiple stuff at once. So I, as a medic, have that ability, so it makes the runs a lot easier. Now don't worry, even if you don't have these gloves, I would say just pick up one orb just to complete the side op, and then continue doing as you're doing, because you don't have enough time to pick all of them up. So the setup is really simple. Once you spawn, go ahead and use 3 oil traps, and you want to set them up in this pattern I have right here. Basically, I line up the squares, and I make sure I have this nice big like plate here, and you'll see why later on. After that, just go after the boss, do what you need to do, and collect extra ammo and collect the side op for the Iris energy. So if you're running medic with Warcry, I have a little tip for you. Once you start the drill, the second you see the target health right here in the bottom corner, go ahead and hit Warcry. Because by the time you're done doing that little animation, you're then able to move and the guy will be on the ground ready for you to pick him up. So that's a neat little trick that I use. That way I shave as little time as possible when it comes to starting this entire run. After that, you're going to make your way towards this little river here and just, you know, be careful and weave around people. Now once you get to like this middle wooden bridge here, this is when you want to start tossing 2 decoys over at the area over there and 1 decoy kind of behind you. And you want to just keep aiming your gun while you recharge your stamina. So periodically keep tossing down some decoys because that extra time that you're buying is going to come in real handy at this moment. You might want to also toss 2 of them. You can toss 1, but I like to toss 2 all the way over there. That way, again, it just buys me some more time before any enemies show up near that drill. Make sure you're aiming your gun when you're walking over the oil, or else you will slip and you will drop the guy. So have your gun readied while you're going over there. Drop them right in the middle, and essentially because that whole plate is big enough, any enemy that goes near him will instantly slip over him. And you'll notice that he will barely get hit, and most of the time he'll like never get hit because of how I placed them and where I placed all the mats. After you put the guy down, quickly go and complete all the Iris side ops. Now if you do not have the gloves or you're not running this as a scout with the scavenger perk, just pick up one of the orbs and complete the side op. It's very important that you do that because it gives you a nice big bonus of Iris energy. And you can always just go back and pick up the remaining orbs, so they will always be sitting there waiting for you. During this downtime, you want to just be waiting over here. Mostly the Iris side op will spawn at the top half or right in front of me. But do keep in mind, there are times when the Iris side op will actually spawn in the bottom half of the map. So just, you know, be ready for that. But like I said, the spawns for all of the side ops and whatnot, they're completely RNG. And I know most of the time it's either going to be right here in this spot or the one directly forward, right next to the one above me. So, you know, just keep note of that. And again, just, you know, stock up on ammo and get ready to go again. Now after I start the drill, I usually like to place down 2 decoys here and 1 down this alleyway. Like I said, you want to make sure you're carrying a lot of the decoys, especially when it comes to the additional carrying cases that they come with, the small one and the medium one. So I'm able to hold like 16 decoys. And if I run out, which that rarely happens, I also have the active decoys to fall back on to use as a substitute. So when you're rescuing this guy from this drill, you will have a tracker following you, so be sure to kill him immediately when you see him, because he will get you. After that, once again, make your way down that little river, and just keep an eye on where everyone's at. Thankfully, because of the bridge, they will trip over it, but again, you want to be careful with all the enemy placements and whatnot, and you know, you will learn how to weave around them a little bit more, but most of the time, the enemies do not show up at that area where I just nearly evaded the bomber. And again, tossing more decoys really does help break up everything and give you some breathing room. I do also want to mention that at the end of this alleyway here, sometimes there is a grabber at the very end. He's kind of hard to see and he will grab you, but if either you shoot him or you tossed a decoy near him, he'll just pop out and reveal himself to you. Alright, so this time we're going to just leave the dude here. We're going to leave him here, let him get beat up, and go and collect all the Iris side ops. Now, normally by the time I get to this part, I only really need 1 detonator carve to fully max out all my ammo. But if you did expend a little bit more, don't worry, you know, you'll have more detonators after this wave and such. But it's very imperative that you do complete the Iris side ops before you start gathering your ammo again. After the wave is completed and you'll have to memorize how much progression you have on the iris here. That way you can eyeball it easily. But yeah, make your way to the drill and just leave. And if you leave early like this, you do earn less battle points, but you still earn the same amount of rewards possible, including the Kuban. And whether you complete it all the way or not, you will earn the same amount of Kuban either way. So if you can complete it faster, then it's always better. So by using this method, you can earn damn near close to 1,000,000 Kuban in about 6 to 10 minutes, but it usually takes me like 7 minutes at most because I'm used to it. This method only uses decoys and 3 oil traps, and this does work most of the time out of all of my runs. A lot more consistent than the other video, which I want to point out again, it's a good video and it can happen. It's just if you rely on that small chance that happening, you're going to end up being a lot more disappointed. So the purpose of this video is that you want to set yourself up for success a lot more often rather than relying on an RNG element. Now, of course, if you're running this with a buddy, this can go a lot faster. You guys can coordinate on what each person's going to do. And yeah, the same exact thing will just happen. You guys will benefit from it. No problem. So that is it for my run, my version of the rescue event. So I hope I'm not stepping on people's toes. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible and give people their credit, because without their effort, without their knowledge, I would not have made this video the way that I did. So again, thank you to the other guy, Beat Police, and Dart for your guys' contributions to making this video. So that about covers it for the event. I hope my method might help some of you guys on actually doing this solo, but let me know what you guys think about it in general and see if you guys have any better alternatives. I can't wait to hear that. So this is GamePro24X, and I will see you guys later.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss.